Hello YouTube fam, welcome to Athena Virtuous channel with another astrology episode with me, Athena. Today's episode is going to be about the full moon in Capricorn, and as I'm recording today's video on the 8th in the evening, I will be giving you the general theme about this full moon in Capricorn, and then I will do each of the zodiac signs. Okay, the transit chart that you see here is for July the 9th, which is tomorrow, and hopefully if I finish all the zodiac signs, you're going to be seeing the video on YouTube tomorrow on the 9th. Otherwise it's going to be uploaded and you're going to be able to see it on July the 10th, which is when the full moon in Capricorn in the afternoon hours. Okay, so before I start with, and once again, this is the July the 9th, and as you see here in the chart, the moon is actually ingress in Capricorn. Okay, as you see here, and it's forming a square with Saturn in Aries. Saturn will be is actually in the shadow period now and is going to station retrograde in Aries on the 13th, so a couple of days after the full moon. Okay, so, and I'll talk about it further, but before I start talking about this, I have a quick announcement. I am going to start doing personal readings again. I've done that before for over a year. I've been doing personal readings on regular basis. My personal readings were over 45 minutes. Anyways, and I was so busy, but I'm going to start doing personal readings on YouTube again. They are going to be uploaded on YouTube, so everybody gonna see them. However, if you are interested in these personal readings, you need to leave a comment under each of the videos I upload on YouTube, especially the videos that's pertaining to your sun, rising, or moon sign. But you have to let me know, and once again, you have to keep commenting on my videos. Now, on the other hand, you have to provide your date of birth, your name, and the type of the reading that you want. Okay, so for example, if you need a natal chart reading, means birth chart reading, astrology, okay, then you need to provide your date of birth, including the time of the birth and the place of birth. Okay, if you, and a specific question as well, you have to provide a specific question, because I'm not going to do the entire birth chart reading. So specific question means, do you want this about your career, or if you have a specific event, okay, coming up, so I need the date of that event so I can do a transit and birth chart reading. If it is romance or romantic, once again, you need to give me a specific question, and probably you need also to provide the other person's date of birth. Now, once again, this is going to be uploaded on my channel. The video going to be uploaded on my channel, and you're going to watch it, and I am going to respond to your comment and let you know when the reading is going to be posted. Most likely it's going to be within few days. Okay, as long as you interact on regular basis with me on YouTube, so I can pick up on your energy. If you want this reading to be private, you need to join my channel. I have 2 tiers. If you want a private reading, you have to join my second tier which is about $20, $19.99 Canadian. Okay. Yeah, you have to be a subscriber to my channel, and you have to pay the monthly subscription. That's about an astrology or natal chart reading. Once again, you have to provide a specific question. If you want a tarot reading, once again, you still have to provide a specific question and let me know what's this reading about, whether it's going to be a general reading or like regarding a love situation or a career situation, job situation, or family matter situation, legal matter, whatever. You have to provide specific question. What's this reading about? But in order for me to pick up on your energy, you have to comment on my channel. You don't have to provide your real name. It's advisable, but you could send me an email with your real name if you don't want to put it on YouTube, because everything going to be public now. Once again, if you want it to be private, then you have to join my channel. Because only subscribers to my channel will be able to see it, not everybody. And I can also, if you want it to completely private, that's totally something different. You can send me an email and I'll provide the information. But anyways, these readings going to be posted on YouTube, okay? Unless it's very private, then the price going to be different. Okay, so let's get into the full moon and the general theme. So at the beginning, the first part of the video is going to be general theme. Okay. Okay. So while I'm filming this, I see 909 on the screen, and I can give you briefly what's 909 angel number or numerology indicative 2. I also see it's actually on my clock on my phone. I see 9:09 p.m. So and I also see 44,322 on the stock market on Dow Jones. And yeah, it's funny, this number adds up to number 6, and I spoke about number 6 again before, in one of my videos. But I can tell you what 909 angel number indicative of just quickly before I speak about the full moon. So 909 signifies spiritual growth, enlightenment, and personal development, suggesting a need to embrace divine guidance and take action towards a fulfilling life. It also often indicates the end of a chapter, which is the full moon. It's very in synchronicity with the full moon in Capricorn. Okay, so there's an end of chapter and a beginning of a new chapter. It encourages you to release the past and align with your higher purpose. This 909 number also emphasizes the importance of trusting your intuition and take calculated risks as you move forward. Okay. Once again, it's about ending of a chapter and a new beginning. 909 appears usually when a significant phase in your life is ending, making way for new beginning and fresh start. This could be in any area of your life, including relationship, career, or personal pursuits. You need also to take action. While the universe may be conspiring to help you, it's also important to take proactive steps towards your goals and dreams. 909 also signifies potential manifestation, and it suggests that you have the potential to manifest your desires and create the life you want. Okay, so this is really this is very powerful, guys. Okay, I'm not gonna I don't know if I'm gonna post what I've said on the screen, but you can just replay what I've said and you can listen again. Okay, so let's get into the and it's funny. As I said, this is the chart is about tomorrow, July the 9th. Okay, and I've seen 909. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna start with the Sabian symbol of the full moon in Capricorn. But let me just give you a general theme about what you see on the chart here. Once again, this is the transit chart of the 9th of July, and as you see here, Saturn is not in retrograde, but it's in the shadow. It's literally a couple of days before the retrograde, before Saturn stations retrograde on July the 13th, and it's right now in Aries. It's going to be in a retrograde motion, and it's going to re-enter Pisces on September the 1st. Neptune also is retrograde now as we speak, as you see here. And Neptune, because is a little advanced than Saturn, it's going to re-enter Pisces in October. Okay, so yeah, I believe in October, but let's just focus on Saturn. And the reason why I'm focusing on Saturn, because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. And when the moon enters and becomes full moon, it's actually, once the moon, as you see in the chart here on the 9th, the moon already ingressed into Capricorn at 0 degree. And it's going to be under the rulership of Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster, is the lord of karma. Saturn is the greater malefic. I've mentioned all of that in my previous readings. Now, once again, Saturn's forming a square with the moon as it ingresses into Capricorn. It's not in, I mean, it shows here forming a square with Jupiter, but no, it's separating, as I mentioned before, because Jupiter, as you see in the chart here, is 5 degrees in Cancer. So it's separating, it's continuing, Jupiter is continuing his journey into Cancer. And yeah, and not in exact also opposition with the moon, but it's going to be in opposition fairly soon, because you know the moon moves 2 degrees every hour in each sign. Okay, so by the time, let's switch to the full moon. Oh, before I speak about the full moon, as I see also Mars is 12 degrees in Virgo and is going to form a conjunction with the South Node in Virgo. Okay, and Mars is actually forming a sextile with the Sun and is going to be sextiling with you know, Jupiter in Cancer as well. Okay, which is really potent and important. Now, also everybody knows that Uranus ingressed into Gemini. And yeah, I didn't do a full episode about Uranus. I'm planning to, hopefully in the next few days. I'll be talking in general about the general theme of Uranus and Gemini, but also I'll do each of the zodiac signs because Uranus will be in Gemini for a little over 7 years. And yeah, as you see here in the chart, both Uranus and Venus are forming a trine with Pluto in Aquarius. Uranus and Venus in Gemini is very beautiful energy. It's an air sign, which means everything is going to be fast, and any opportunities come to you, it's going to be fast, and you need to take action, just like what I told you about the 909 angel number or numerology indication or signification. Okay, so let's get into the full moon transit chart. Just 1 second. Actually, let me just wipe out and clean the screen here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so probably gonna change the color so you can see better. Let's do green so you can see it. Okay, so as we see here, this is the chart of July the 10th, and we see here, sorry, just 1 second, we see here the full moon. This is the full moon at 18 degree and 49 minutes. okay, in Capricorn. Obviously, the full moon in Capricorn and the sun in Cancer. That's what the full moon is, when the moon and the sun are in opposite signs, and the earth is here in the middle, okay? Now, as I said before multiple times, the moon is the ruler of Cancer, and the sun is the ruler of Leo. So the ruler of Leo is in Cancer, and the ruler of Cancer is in the opposite sign. The full moon is all about our emotions, feelings. The moon representation of the mother, of the country, of the people, okay, and our security in our home, okay. And it's coming to a culmination. Before I speak about the full moon, you need to go back 6 months backwards. I believe it's this transit chart. Let me see. No, this is September the 1st, because I wanted to, okay. So, no, it's, hold on. I believe it's this one. Okay, yeah. So it is this one. It is this chart. And this is the chart of when we've had a new moon in Capricorn, as you see in the chart here. New moon in Capricorn, okay, at 9 degrees and 43 minutes, and that was December 30th. If I remember correct, on that month in December, we've had 2 new moons. We've had Aquarius new moon, and at the end of the month, we've had this new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees and 43 minutes. And once again, we are coming to an end of the 9 degree. Okay, remember I spoke about 9 before. 9, all the new moons we've had, I believe, since we've had a new moon in Scorpio in 2024, all of them, they were at 9 degree plus. Okay, and 9 degree is the last digit of last single digit of the the numbers, and it means end of a chapter. I just exactly as I said when I started recording this video about angel number 9 and about the numerology signification of number 9. So it's the end of chapter now, and on the full moon, whatever you started around this time, whatever project, relationship, I don't know, whatever trip, whatever you name it, it's coming to a culmination now. Okay, it's coming to an end. Now it's end of chapter, end of cycle, end of karmic cycle. Why it's related to a karmic cycle? It's related to a karmic cycle because Saturn is the lord of karma. Okay, so if I say, you heard me saying it's an end of a karmic cycle, you've dealt with some karmic situation and now it's coming to a culmination. Okay, and it's funny enough, well, it's not funny, as you saw in the on the, so this is July the 10th, but on July the 9th we've seen that the moon is forming a square. Let me go back. Is forming a square with Saturn, which is going to, which is technically in a shadow period. So let me just give you the Sabian symbol before I talk about this full moon. It is related to the full moon. It's related to this degree. Now, as I mentioned multiple times in the past, the Sabian symbol, if we have a degree like this, 1849 Capricorn, then we have to round it up to nearest number. So we're gonna read, Capricorn 19 degrees. So 1849, the Sabian symbol is 19 degree, and 19 degree is actually, well, 18. Okay, so if we're talking about the degree theory, it's different. The degree theory, we have to see which corresponding sign for that degree. And 18 degree is actually hold on, this is 13, 14, 15, 16, so it's a Virgo degree. Okay, so 18 degree is a Virgo degree, and we have a south node here in Virgo. I'll talk about it after, but let me start off with 19 degree And why, again, 19 degree, that's the Sabian symbol. The Sabian symbol is the symbolic or spiritual meaning of the degree, okay? So we have to round it up to 19, and 19, it adds up to 10, which means starting new cycle. So ending of a cycle and starting new cycle. But what's the Sabian symbol of 19 degree Capricorn? It's a child of about 5. So the age of the child is 5 years old and is carrying a huge shopping bag full with groceries. Okay, so which means from the, it's self-explanatory. It's a 5-year-old child, but he's overburdened, or he's burdened and carrying a heavy grocery bag. It's filled, which means burden. Okay, this symbol shows having to carry heavy loads at a very young age. It's like responsibilities. A young child is considered a toddler, okay? Has so many chores and jobs to do, and he needs to help. Maybe help his parent, or maybe helping himself, to provide for himself or herself, okay? It's a child, it's a toddler, 5 years old. It could be because this child has nobody else to help him, or to provide for him or her, or to do anything for them, okay, for themselves. Often the child gets these responsibilities because they are the one who others know is going to take it seriously and to be the person who's in charge or in the responsibility, or to complete this task. Taking care of all these responsibilities, or probably even the child is taking care of the parent, or taking care of themselves or their siblings, okay? What does that indicative do? This means that you have so many responsibilities. You have been burdened with many responsibilities, with overloads of responsibilities beyond your normal expectations, and possibly beyond your capability, despite being very enthusiastic, okay, because you're at a young age and you're taking these responsibilities. Maybe you're enthusiastic to take care of this and do it, but still it's too much. You are overburdened. It's too much for you, and you probably already exhausted with this burden. So you need to take some time to take rest, okay? So that's technically what's the full moon in Capricorn. It's you being burdened with so many responsibilities. You're growing up fast, weighed down with responsibilities, taking on things about your beyond, above and beyond your capabilities, and you're the one who's paying for everything. You are being overloaded with these responsibilities at a very young age. Now, this doesn't have to be look, guys, it's a full moon in Capricorn, but this is the general and Sabian symbol, the general theme, the spiritual meaning of the 19 degree. This doesn't have to pertain to Capricorn. This is for everybody, okay? Everybody. We've been overloaded with responsibilities at young age. The majority of us. It depends on each one of us, but situation, but that's the general theme. This is the idea, or this is the psychological or the spiritual meaning of 19 degree. You are very young, you are innocent, you don't have enough experience in life, yet you've been overloaded with all these responsibilities that are above and beyond your capabilities, okay? You don't even think about the consequence of, you could be falling, you could be breaking your bones, because remember, Saturn is related to your bones. it's related to your, it's related to your bone. So it could be even breaking or exposed to fracture or injury. Okay. Now, you need to drop off the burden. Okay. You need to close this chapter or this cycle in your life. Okay, so that's the Sabian symbol of the 19-degree Capricorn. Capricorn, as we all know, is ruled by Saturn, and once again, Saturn still in the cardinal sign in Aries, and automatically it squares the moon. Now, on the full moon, the moon is already separating from the square. Okay, but the point here is Saturn is in Aries, that's ruled by Mars. Okay, Mars right now at 13 degrees in Virgo, almost forming a conjunction within 7 degrees from the south node. Okay, so there's something karmic here related to our past life that needs to be finalized and ended. Okay, so Saturn is under the rulership of Mars and is stationing retrograde a couple of days after the full moon. Okay, is in the shadow period as we speak now, and is the rulership of this full moon. And the moon is the rulership of Cancer, which is the opposite sign of Capricorn. Saturn, as I mentioned, is going to be stationing retrograde on July the 13th and will enter Pisces in a retrograde motion on September the 1st. As you see in the chart here, here you go. Okay, you see in the chart here where I'm pointing to, Saturn is, sorry, just give me 1 second. So this is the chart of September 1st, okay? And as you see here, Saturn is retrograde and ingress at 29 degrees and 59 minutes and a retrograde degree in Pisces. So in retrograde motion, okay, September 1st. Sorry if I said, I said Neptune is retrograde, but Neptune is still in Aries, okay? Excuse me. Now, Saturn will move forward on November the 1st in the sign of Pisces and will re-enter into Aries in February, I believe February 14th or 15th, will re-enter Aries, February 14th of 2026, okay? But in November, will station direct in Pisces and will be in Pisces until February of 2026. On the 14th, will re-enter into Aries, okay? So what does that mean? This simply means that Saturn in its retrograde motion will be affecting the most late degrees of Pisces. So I would say 24 degree Pisces up to 4 degree Aries. And same thing, all mutable signs, late degrees mutable signs, because Pisces is a mutable sign. So we're talking Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius. So late degrees, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius, up to early degrees, cardinal signs. 4 degrees Cancer, 4 degrees Libra, 4 degrees Capricorn. Okay? And Saturn will be in Aries until 2028. I can't remember which month exactly, but will be in Aries until for about 2 years from February the 14th. Will be in Aries, okay, in a forward motion. There is a time that Saturn will be in retrograde, but the point that I want to say here is when Saturn enters into Pisces, will be forming a trine with Jupiter in Cancer. And it's not going to square Jupiter again, okay? Because Saturn will be very slow in Aries, okay? and Jupiter is faster, obviously, and will be forward in Cancer. And actually, next year, Jupiter will be entering, I believe, end of June and July will be entering into Leo. Okay, so technically, when Saturn will be in Aries, Jupiter will be entering in Leo and will be actually forming a trine with Leo. Okay, so let's go back to the full moon here, and once again, the full moon is ruled by Saturn, because where's Saturn? Sorry, I changed the chart. Okay, so Saturn here at 1 degree and 55 minutes, stationing in a shadow period, getting ready to station retrograde in Aries. And Saturn is the ruler, or the moon aspect of the full moon is under the rulership of Saturn. Saturn is the lord of karma. And once again, this is an indication of a karmic cycle that need to be finalized. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you need to go back and see what started in your life at the end of September 30th, when we've had the new moon in Capricorn. Okay, so whatever that cycle of 6 months, it's coming to culmination now. It's coming to a peak. It's going to be ended and finalized. In our lifetimes, or in our lifetime, we go through multiple karmic cycles. You have to understand them. Okay, and it varies. It's not the same for each one of us. So, for example, you are 4 degrees Capricorn, your life or your timeline or your cycle is going to be different than 18 degree or 19 degree Capricorn. You got to understand that we are born at different timelines, at different places, different dates. So it doesn't, whatever the predictions, whatever, I tell you, or any other astrology is going to be different for each one of us, but you need to only take what resonates with you, whether it's astrological predictions or tarot reading, because, and I say it again, we are born in different timelines, different dates, different places. So, full moon also, as I mentioned before in many of my videos, is a reversal of a situation, because once that karmic cycle ends, you're going to start new cycle, and it's a reversal. There's something going to be reversed. There's something going to be changed. Okay, so for example, full moon in Capricorn, it's in the body, in the physical body, in the psyche, it affects your status, affects Capricorn, primarily, but also it affects Aquarius. Why? Because the ruler of this full moon is Saturn, and Saturn is the co-ruler of Aquarius and is the chart ruler of Capricorn. So the first signs that's going to be affected by this full moon is technically Capricorn, okay, Aquarius to a certain degree, but also Aries, Cancer, and Libra, because cardinal signs, and then it'll affect, I said Aries, it'll affect also, mutable signs. Why I'm saying that? Because the South Node is in Virgo, okay? And, and the South Node is squaring, well, not now, but I'll talk about it after, but let me just focus on this full moon. But literally Capricorn and Aquarius number 1, and then Aries and Pisces, actually. Pisces and Virgo, Cancer and Libra. These are the signs, and also the moon is the ruler of Cancer, okay? So it affects the 7th house, technically, of Cancer. Okay, so I will go through each of the zodiac signs, but for Capricorn, because it affects you the most, because it's in your sign and the moon rules your opposite sign, whatever you're doing now, it's going to be finalized, and you need to be prepared to reap what you've sown, because once again, Saturn is the ruler of your chart. No kidding, guys. And you have to understand, in my channel here, you're not going to hear necessarily I'm not going to make it up, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth as is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to, make it rosy. And if it is rosy, I'm going to tell you it is rosy. The sun is shining bright and there's something beautiful. But if it is, an ending of a situation or a cycle or something, even if you like it and you're so attached to it, if it's final, it's final. And if I'm saying you're going to reap what you've sown, you're going to reap what you've sown. I've mentioned that a million times, and you can listen to any decent astrologers. It is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the Lord of Karma. So whatever you do, good or bad, you're going to reap what you've sown. Okay? I've said that before. You need to look who is your chart ruler. Your chart ruler is literally who is going to be, is technically going to affect you most because of the energy, okay? And Saturn is the chart ruler of Capricorn, and there is a full moon here, okay? There's ending, finalization, and then you're going to be reaping what you've sown, right? Like instantly. When I say instantly, that's because you are ruled by the Lord of Karma. All right? Now, the moon, which rules our emotions and feelings, is the ruler of Cancer, and is, I'm kind of repeating myself. Sorry, guys, I'm looking at my notes. This is going to be potent. So it's technically, Saturn is telling you it's a do or die situation. Means you have to be, it's a do or die situation. You have to persevere. You have to do your due diligence. You have to be realistic. Okay? That's all the lessons that Saturn is teaching us, the taskmaster. Okay? You have to be patient. You have to persevere. You have to slow down. This is not only for Capricorn. This is actually even for Aries. Okay? And because it is sitting in Aries right now, but it also is going to affect late degrees Pisces, and it's going to affect Capricorn, okay? Because Saturn rules Aquarius and Capricorn. Okay, let me rephrase that. Saturn is sitting now in Aries at 1 degree. So it's going to affect up to 4 or 5 degrees Aries and late degrees Pisces. But Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius and is the ruler of Capricorn. So these are the 3 signs that mostly going to be affected by this full moon. And the message of Saturn here is you have to do, once again, do your due diligence. You have to be honest. You have to plan ahead of time and have a plan and strategy in place before you rush into any situation or any action. Okay, you have to persevere and slow down and take responsibility and be in charge. You have to be honest. I'm going to say it again. You have to be honest, because eventually you're going to be facing the consequence of your actions. Okay, karma. As I said, because the full moon is in the opposite sign, so the full moon here is not happy in Capricorn. It's in detriment. Okay. The moon is in domicile in Cancer. It's in detriment here in Capricorn. It's in the opposite sign. So the energy is going to be tough once again, particularly on these 3 signs. Particularly these signs: Capricorn, Aquarius, Aries, and actually Pisces, 4 signs. As I said, it's a do or die situation. You need to persist. You need to be either victorious or you're going to be defeated, depending on your actions. So you have to take your chances here, okay? But because the moon trines Mars, okay, as you see here, the Mars is at 13 degrees and 32 seconds in Virgo. A fellow Earth sign is forming a trine with the moon. Even though it's not exact, but it's been through it. Okay, the moon before reach 18 minute and 49 was somewhere here. So form exact trine. It's separating right now, but it's still supportive. Mars is taking initiation, is being the taking initiative, sorry, is the initiator, okay? Initiates something, is action oriented, have to take action, while the moon is all about emotions and feelings. So the Mars here, not the Mars, Mars here, even though it's almost going to form a conjunction with the South Node, it's like telling the moon, okay, or is actually activating the moon, is giving energy to the moon, is telling the moon we need to take action, okay? We need to initiate something. I have to do something about my emotions, about my initiative, about whatever I want to do, okay? So it's pushing hard. Mars here is pushing the moon, the full moon, to clear the path so Mars can take action. What does that mean, clear the path? Because, you know, Mars is almost close to the South Node, and both here, you see the South Node and the full moon are actually also trining one another. So there's a path related to our past karma needs to end. We need to close the door on this path. And Mars is pushing hard to clear this path so he can start new initiative, so that Mars starts something new. All right? So Mars is activating this energy, the energy of clearing the path, the energy of closing the cycle, of finalization. Even if, for some of you, this cycle that needs to be finalized is painful, okay? The situation that needs to be shut down, closed, let go of, released, it could be painful. It could be a relationship. It could be a situation. It could be related to death. It could be related to somebody we need to let go of, okay? It could be painful for some of us. Still, it could be a legal matter that you have to give up on, okay, or accept crumbs of return from this legal matter just because you know there's a new cycle's coming to it's going to be initiated, or it's going to start due to the trine between Mars and this full moon. Okay, so there's a new cycle, but before the new cycle starts, we need to close the old one. Mars in Virgo also, remember the quality of Virgos, the energy of Virgo is perfectionist, is very attentive to minor details, is detail oriented. So Mars here also reminding you to pay close attention to the details of whatever the situation that Mars is pushing you to start, okay? So you need to close the cycle, pay attention how you close it, okay? But also pay attention to the new cycle that you're starting, okay? So, and as I said, even if you have to bite your tongue and you have to give up on something because you know there's something better is starting. Remember, 909, okay? You need to drop the burden. Remember the meaning. A child who's being overloaded with heavy load, overloaded means heavy load. You're overburdened by something that's too heavy, above and beyond your capabilities. You need to drop it because there's a new cycle coming up. Okay? Now, on the other hand, Mars, see Mars here, is sextiling in Virgo. By default, Virgo and Cancer sextile one another. Water signs sextile earth signs. That's by default. But also, Mars at 13 degree and the South Node are forming a sextile with the Sun in Cancer. And actually, Mars is closer to Jupiter, about 5-6 degrees. Okay, so yeah, it's almost sextiling Jupiter. So there's a sextile here. So technically, Mars is very supportive to Cancer and the full moon, technically, because the full moon is the ruler of Cancer. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you here. On all levels. Now, whatever action to initiate a new cycle here is going to be supported by Mars. And when I say supported by the South Node as well, why I say that? I say that because, the South Node or the situation or the relationship or the people that we're going to release and we need to release is technically because they are karmic, okay? Karmic situation, karmic people. When we end that, we let them go, we release them so they can take care of themselves, take care of their path, take care of their karma, and we move on to something new. So it is supportive. Now also the North Node is at 20 degrees. So the North Node is actually also trining with the Sun here. Okay? The North Node in Pisces is forming a trine with the Sun in Cancer. Okay? The Sun is 18 degree and the North Node. So there's a new path. There is a new journey for us. We need to move on to. But we have to close this first. All right? Now, let me remind you of something very important that you need to understand. And the full moon here in Capricorn also trines the North Node in Pisces. So the Sun trines Pisces it sextiles. I'm sorry if I said trine. It actually sextiles Pisces, okay? Because as I mentioned, water signs sextile, by default sextile with earth signs, and this position of 18 degree full moon is actually in sextile with the North Node, okay, in Pisces. So there's a sextile. So there is an opportunity coming for you to take a new initiative or to step into a new cycle in your life. Now, I want to remind you of something, guys, because this full moon, and I keep saying it, is ruled by Saturn. And I had multiple full moons, many full moons. This is in my opposite sign, as you know, all a Cancer, Sun and Rising. I have seen throughout my life, full moon in Capricorn is finalization and ending of something karmic, either a situation, either a relationship, and I've seen karma hit hard. The people that I ended up there, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, okay? Whether it's a relationship with a person, a colleague or a co-worker or a romantic partner, karmic partner, or a situation, okay? It's affecting, the seventh house, especially for Cancer, it's the house of your partner on all levels, and also a relationship with an enemy, a known enemy, okay? So if this karmic cycle is going to be ending, okay, and if it is based off betrayal, even if it's a defeat, for example, for Cancer, and it's a betrayal from the enemy here, You got to understand, Saturn is sitting here and is the ruler of this. So be prepared to face the consequence of your actions. If it is a legal matter, for example, okay, and this doesn't have to be for Capricorn only, any sign, okay? So for example, for Aquarius, this is your 12th house. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Aquarius, a full moon in a 12th house is not fun. And I've said that before, okay? Full moon in the 1st house, in the 12th house, or in the 8th house is not fun. So was Saturn in the 1st house, in the 12th house, or in the 8th house is not fun. This is all related to a fated matter. F-A-T-E-D. Fated. Okay? Something destined, something fated is going to be, it's fate. Okay? It's related to your destiny. And also it is karmic. Now, if you wanted to give up on something because you wanted to start a new cycle, especially for water signs, because remember, the North Node is starting a new cycle. You know there's something new is waiting for you, and you need to take a new journey or a new path towards your life purpose, your life path, okay? And Mars is pushing you, sextiling, bringing opportunities, sextiling with the Sun here and Jupiter. And the North Node is trining with you, so here's a new door is opening for you. Not only for Cancer, but also Scorpio and Pisces. And you need to let go of this. All signs technically, okay? But I'm talking why I'm saying Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, because the North Node is actually trining with Cancer and Scorpio, and Mars sextiling, the Sun and Jupiter in Cancer, and the full moon in Capricorn sextiling with the North Node. So even for Capricorn, okay, there's something you need to take a new journey, new path, okay? But once again, it all depends on your actions. If it's based off betrayal, be prepared for the consequence. If it's you need to drop down this burden, remember the child, the 5-year-old child that's overloaded with, heavy bag, okay, doesn't have be necessarily full of groceries. It could be full of rocks. Could be that's the job of this little child, okay? So overloaded with, now you need to drop the burden because there's a new cycle waiting for you. So even if you were defeated, but you just want to let go, then leave it to Saturn to take care of everything. Leave it to the divine to take care of this burden, okay? That's basically the full moon in Capricorn in a nutshell. And as I mentioned earlier, the full moon in Capricorn will be affecting the most Capricorn, okay? Aquarius, because both of them are ruled by Saturn, and Aries, because Saturn's sitting here in Aries, and late degrees Pisces. Also, Saturn will be stationing retrograde on July the 13th. And I'm sorry, I don't have the chart here, but it is going to be retrograding on July the 13th. And also, this full moon will be affecting Virgo because you have the South Node here, and will be affecting Pisces, as I mentioned, either positive or negative, okay? You have the North Node in your sign, so you have to let go of the past. Don't be clinging to the past, Pisces. Now, I'm going to talk about each of the signs, and for Cancer as well, you're ruled by the full moon. Okay, so there could be emotions. You could be forced now to let go of this past because there's something new opportunity coming your way. Remember, you're sextiling the south node and you're trining the north node. Okay, so you have to let go. You have to close that chapter. And also Gemini, I'm not gonna lie to you, Uranus just entered into your sign. Although Uranus is happier in Gemini versus when it was in Taurus, because Taurus energy is very slow, it's very fixed, it's very stubborn. But in Gemini here, it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast-paced energy. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna do a video about Uranus and Gemini. Yes, it is air sign. It's going to be very beautiful for Libra and Aquarius, especially. Yeah, Libra and Aquarius, but Aquarius because Uranus is your ruler. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Gemini, be careful of your actions because you're gonna be abrupt. You're going to take Uranus at the first house is not fun. Okay, it's not fun at all. You can ask Taurus. You're gonna be subject to ups and downs. Uranus is very abrupt, disruptive, is like a volcano. It's going to explode out of the sudden. Okay, it's like an earthquake, volcano, tornado, whatever, you name it. Okay, yeah, and you're going to be hit hard, either positively or negatively, but it's in your physical, in your body. It's going to affect you personally. All right, so yeah, it's not fun, but generally speaking, that's what I'm trying to say here about the full moon in Aquarius. In Capricorn. It's been almost 1 hour. I'm trying to explain to you the spiritual meaning of this. And guys, I'm not only reading you astrology, the basics. I'm giving you intuitive downloads. I'm getting lots of messages. This video might take even longer, but this is the general theme. Okay, now I just want to remind you of something else, that the Capricorn energy is the Capricorn, generally speaking, rules government, rules authorities, rules people in higher ups, senior positions in the government specifically. Capricorn also rules banks, rules structure, infrastructure. Okay, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I see here governments, some certain government is going to be destroyed. Let's put it this way, or going to be dissolved. Why I say that? I say that because Saturn is related to structure, is the ruler of Capricorn, and it's a full moon, and Saturn is forming a conjunction with Neptune. Sorry, not the North Node, but is forming conjunction with Neptune here. See, less than a minute between. They're still in conjunction. Both of them are retrograde. Okay, Saturn right now as we speak in a shadow period, but on the 13th will station retrograde in Aries. Neptune is already retrograde, and Neptune is disillusionment. Neptune is no boundaries, is dissolving something. Okay, water dissolves everything. Water, okay, the energy of water. So I see government is going to be dissolved. I see collapse to some government. I'm gonna have to be honest. I see also collapse of some certain structure. It could be related because look, the South Node here in Virgo, and Virgo rules the 6th house. Okay, the house of providing service to others. It could be, Virgo also rules medications and the health sector, okay, and the pharmaceutical sector as well. So with the South Node here, that tells me there are some companies that are going to be dissolved or exposed. Okay, Uranus in Gemini, Neptune retrograde. Okay, because Neptune direct is or retrograde is actually even indicative of the something deceptive or something that was hidden under the rug. When Neptune is direct, there is something hidden under the rug, in the depth, in the deep, or the deepest water, the depth of the ocean. There's something hidden in the depth of ocean or the water. When it goes retrograde, this thing is going to come up to the surface. It's going to be exposed, especially with Uranus here sextiling, forming a sextile with Pluto, remember, and sextiling, not exactly sextiling, actually it is, Neptune is sextiling Saturn, and sorry, Uranus is forming a sextile with Neptune and Saturn. See here, let me just wipe out this, there's too much. Okay, so Neptune here at 0 degree in Gemini is forming a sextile with Saturn and Neptune. Uranus, I'm going to say it again because I might have mixed up the planets. Uranus, the disruption event, the shocking event, okay, in Gemini, air sign, which rules e-commerce, trade, rules communication, social media, mainstream media, okay, rules, deception, lies, and everything. Not Gemini, that's the rulership of Gemini, okay, which is ruled by Mercury. And I didn't even speak about Mercury. Mercury at 13 degree here in Leo, on the 10th, Mercury actually entered the shadow period, because Mercury will station retrograde on the 18th of July. Okay, oh my goodness, I totally forgot about Mercury. So technically Mercury and Uranus here, they have Mercury, Uranus is actually the higher octave of Mercury, okay? So there is something going to be exposed, either through social media, through communication, through phone call, text message, email, whatever, you name it. In the stream media, something is coming to surface, okay? Whatever that was hidden, with Neptune retrograde, whatever that was hidden, and with the Pluto retrograde also, and forming a trine, see here? This is also a trine, so it's not only sextiling Neptune. So Uranus is not only sextiling Neptune and Saturn. Uranus actually trines Pluto, okay? So there is something hidden, very deep, the volcano, whatever that was, the gases that was in the mountain, hidden in the mountain, it's going to, explode, and forms a volcano. That's what Uranus is, okay? So there's something is going to be, news, because Pluto also is related to karma, and Pluto is sneaking quietly, okay, to basically to expose something, to expose what's hidden, okay? Pluto also rules any criminal activities. Pluto rules any hidden activity in the underworld, okay? Anything related to taboo, anything related to sex trafficking, as you see now what's happening in US, okay? Trump, who we trusted, is actually now up for Epstein files or client list. I don't know if you know Epstein. Epstein is the guy who was trafficking in children, trafficking, who was actually, was the person who was trafficking children or young age women to high figures or high status figures in the States, okay, whether in the government or in Hollywood. So DOJ, or the Department of Justice, said we have no client list, okay? And because Epstein died, and nobody knows how Epstein died, whether he was killed or whether he committed suicide in his jail, in his cell, okay? There is lots of stuff is coming up to the surface now. It's affecting the government or Trump's government, because Trump is trying to cover up. Okay, and his I don't know, I can't remember what her position. I don't think she's the Attorney General. I think she's the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Yeah, she's covering up. She said we have no client list. Okay, so they're trying to close the Epstein files, and there are tons of people that they were personally affected by their children being trafficked, okay, and being used and abused by Epstein and his partner, I can't remember, I believe Ghislaine Maxwell or something, she's still in jail. Who knows whether she's still in jail or if she was released, whatever. So, but you see here how Pluto and Uranus is exposing all of this. Okay, and you've heard also that Elon Musk, who's a Cancer, okay, and I believe has something in Gemini, Venus in Gemini, okay, and Uranus just and Venus both are in Gemini, and he's an entrepreneur, he's a businessman, he's the wealthiest man on earth. Okay, Elon Musk is forming a new party which is called the America Party. Okay, and there's a beef been going on for a while, for a month or over, between him and Trump, even though Elon Musk supported Trump, okay, but because of the deficit and because of the debt and the high ceiling of the debt in US, Elon Musk, there's issues going on between him and Trump, and he's forming a new government. Okay, so as the whole purpose of what I'm saying here is Saturn and Neptune retrograde both are leading to dissolve or dissolution of government, of authority figures, okay, and of ending of some authority figures, whether in companies, whether companies going to shut down and close, whether something going to be exposed to the public, Uranus and Neptune, and also Pluto, okay, this trine and sextile between Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto, exposing what was hidden, what was buried under the rug for too long. Now it's going to come to surface. I keep repeating myself, sorry guys, but that's what we see. Okay, so I do see that there are government going to be dissolved. They're going to be on the way to be collapsed. A structure. Okay, now going back to Virgo, which is related service, I do see some companies that they're going to shut down as well. Okay, I also see that there's going to be loss of employment. There are going to be lots of layoffs, especially in the health sector and the pharmaceutical sector. There could be some also something related to pharmaceutical companies, some vaccinations, stuff like that. It's going to come to the surface, it's going to be exposed, and it's going to be ending as well. Remember, Mars, it severs ties whatever touch. Mars cuts down on things, okay? And Mars is related to army, related to military, related to, weapons, related to injuries. And I've mentioned that before, guys. If you go back to World War II, which happened in the 40s, and I mentioned that in my Saturn reading, because lots of people, they blaming Saturn on world wars, but in reality, it's Uranus and Mars. Okay, Uranus and Mars, especially if they come into a square, as we've seen when Mars was in Leo, late degree Leo, and Uranus was in late degree Taurus. We've seen that, and I mentioned that in my previous reading. What happened between Israel and Iran? I told you there are going to be explosions, there's going to be a war. Okay, so whenever Uranus and Mars come into a square, there's a war. Okay, now Uranus in an air sign is indicative of revolutions, is indicative of liberation, is indicative of freedom. Okay, so we are going to see many activities or rallies that's calling for freedom and liberation. Okay, liberation or revolution from an old regime. Okay, old regime that needs to, or old paradigm that needs to end. It's going to collapse. It's not going to be successful. Okay, and Mars is the use of weapons, is war, basically, is the fighters, is the military, is the army. And it's going to conjunct the South Node. So there is something here Mars going to sever ties with, something related to past karma, so something related to old regime, something related to something old that needs to be severed ties with, cut out, in order for something new to start. So that's in the nutshell what I have for you related to the full moon in Capricorn. Yeah, I don't know how else I can explain it. You gotta understand at the end of the day, whether it's a full moon, whatever it is, you have free will. Okay, the power is in your hand. You choose what you're gonna do. It's your choice, but you have to be prepared to either be rewarded or face the consequence. So it's a do or die situation. You're either going to be defeated or you're going to be victorious. All right? Okay, so now I'm gonna start the second part of the video. So just before I start doing the reading Aries. For Aries, I'm just gonna give you an oracle card reading for the general theme from the Monology Manifestation Oracle cards deck that I have. And I pulled for you Full Moon in Scorpio, Breathe Through the Tension. And I also pulled out, actually they flew out from the deck. I got the last quarter moon in Sagittarius, Practice Gratitude, and it can't resonate any better than that. So you need to breathe through the tension, full moon in Scorpio, and I'm gonna read for you your manifestation affirmation for this full moon in Scorpio card. So, okay. It says, sexual energy fires me up in a good way and helps me express my creativity too. Okay, so breathe through the tension. The manifestation affirmation is, sexual energy fires me up in a good way and helps me express my creativity too. Now, the practice through gratitude, which is last quarter moon in Sagittarius. And I'm reading from the booklet, guys. I know you don't see me. I will see if I can take a picture of these cards so you can see them on the screen. Or you just need to hear, or maybe I'm just going to put the message, the manifestation affirmation message for you. This is once again the general theme. This is for everybody or for the general energy. Your manifestation affirmation: life loves me and I love life. Life loves me and I love life. Okay, and that's what the practice gratitude last moon in Sagittarius is all about. Now, yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I'm gonna post the message or even the oracle card on the screen. So let's start with Aries. What's this full moon means for you? The full moon is happening in your 10th house. This is your public image, your public status. This is related to your profession, your status, how people see you, okay? What you've achieved or what you're planning to achieve. And there's a full moon right here, okay? Now, it's not only related to your 10th house, it's also related to your 6th house because your chart ruler, Mars, is actually in your 6th house, okay? And it's almost forming a conjunction with the South Node. And Mars is trining with this full moon, as I mentioned in the general theme. So Mars sitting here is creating or is initiating something, okay? Something related to new service that you need to provide. because whatever you initiate here is going to elevate your status. You're closing a status that you're currently in, okay? Whatever your status right now, if I'll give you an example, Aries. If your status as we speak now, unemployed, then Mars in your 6th house is pushing you to start something new and to become employed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you're closing a cycle here of unemployment, because that's what your 10th house is. Or maybe you don't have a good position in the company where you work for, because that's what the 10th house is, your public image, is your status related to your profession, your career. But Mars is pushing you to start something new, to provide a new service, maybe start a new business, maybe start your own business, okay? It could be anything. Maybe starting or joining a new group, because Saturn in your house is also related to your 11th house. The groups you're associated with. Saturn also is pushing you to embrace your individuality, embrace your traits, your qualities, your being authentic self, okay? Your true self, who you really are, you truly are. Saturn is reminding you also to slow down, because Saturn in your house here is under the rulership of Mars in your service house, okay? So Saturn is telling you to slow down, to study, to reevaluate, to review. That's what the retrograde is, a redo something, okay? Review it, reevaluate it. Take one step at a time. Don't rush. Mars is rushing, is pushing, okay? And Saturn is saying, no, slow down, okay? But also Saturn is urging you to tie loose ends. Whatever that's finalized here, what does it mean, tie loose ends? There's something is ending here in your 10th house. It could be due to anything. So then finalize it properly, tie loose ends, don't leave something left out. For example, let's say before you were on hibernation mode, like or in hermit mode, you're not working, okay? So why you are not working? Maybe you did not get the job that where you are being evaluated or paid properly, okay, based on your skills and your experience. Or it could be you're dealing with some addictions affecting your work, your ability to complete your work and your tasks. Or it could be related to mental health issue, or it could be related to, I don't know, you're dealing with some issues in your life. So now you need to close that chapter, because there is something new starting in your life that's pushed by your chart ruler, but you have to tie loose ends. You have to make sure you're ready now. You have to make sure that you are going to be able to take full responsibility, be in charge. Okay? You have to make sure that you're going to persevere and control your temper, because Mars is also, being impulsive, being combative. Okay? So you need to make sure that you don't fight with your co-workers, because the 6th house is related to your relationship with your colleagues, your co-workers, your daily routine. This needs to change, okay? Because there's something old routine that you followed before, maybe being lazy, maybe not waking up early in the morning, maybe not exercising, maybe once again physical or mental health, because that's what the 6th house as well is related to your health. Okay, then this needs to be where the South Node is. This needs to change. This needs to end, because Mars is pushing you to start something new, being more proactive, being also taking care of yourself, your mental health and your physical health. Okay, so you can start something new. Get rid of old habits, get rid of addictions, because Capricorn is also related to addictions, related to being stubborn, fixed, related to being following the rules and being very following certain structure. You need to be more flexible. Okay, that's what I mean when I say Saturn's telling you to tie loose ends. Okay, now Neptune retro in your chart here is telling you also, and I'm saying it again, you need to take care of your mental health. Okay, because you might be under certain influences or under escapism, some sort of addictions. I don't know, whatever it is, headaches, migraines, whatever it is, you need to take care of your health. Okay, because both when Neptune and Saturn go retrograde in Pisces, you are revisiting something that you were dealing with for the last few years. Okay, it was affecting you. It was affecting your 12th house. It's going back now to your 12th house. And as I said before, Saturn is preparing you for a new chapter in your life, because Saturn is going to move in a forward motion in February of 2026. That's going to open new opportunities for you, but not then, even from now. But you have to tie loose ends. You have to get rid of those old habits. Now, Aries, just before I end this reading for you, I'm going to pull a Monology card, and I got first quarter moon in Libra. In your opposite house, first quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. Keep your heart open. And I'm going to read for you the manifestation affirmation of the first quarter moon in Libra, and it is page 66. I'm reading from the book, Aries, if you're listening to this message. And the manifestation affirmation for you is so the messages: keep your heart open, and it's energies of the first quarter moon in Libra. Thank you for showing me how to work with others and how to give and receive. Exactly. So it's not only about you, Aries. It's also about working with others. So you be appreciative and grateful to the universe, and keep this message. You need to keep your heart open, and be receptive, and work with others. Work in a team environment. Be a team member of a team, or work with the team, or work well with the team, okay, with your partners. It's not only about you or about me, myself, and I. For Aries, it's also about my partners, okay? And that's what the sixth house as well. You're going to be working with a team, okay? So open your heart and be receptive. All right, Aries, I wish you best of luck.